today what we're going to do is we're going to, similar to what we did last time, simplifying fractions that have letters in them, but there's not going to be any factorizing going on. Okay, it's just going to be, today's just going to be adding or subtracting. I should put that on there. Okay, so before we get into the algebra stuff, we'll just do some number examples of adding fractions. Okay, so if I have 2/3 plus an eighth, I can't add those together just yet because I need a common denominator. And so that common denominator of 3 and 8 is always going to be the least common multiple of 3 and 8. And so the least common multiple for 3 and 8 in this case is the same as the product, 3 times 8. Okay, so our least common multiple for 3 and 8 is 24. So what I do is I rewrite those fractions so they have a denominator of 24. How do I do that? Well, this fraction I would multiply by 3 over 3. And this fraction I would multiply by 8 over 8. Remembering that when I do that, this is equal to 1, so I don't change anything there. And this is equal to 1, so I'm not changing the value of fractions at all. So I rewrite these fractions. Okay, so when I multiply these, 1/8 times 3 over 3 is this, and 8/8 times 2/3 is this. This is what I'm looking for. Now, I can combine the top, the numerator, and it's 16 plus 3 over 24 to give me my answer. Okay, now there's no algebra there, but we just need to remember one thing. I cannot add or subtract fractions until they have a common denominator. And when they do have a common denominator, I just add the numerator part. Okay, in this case it was a number and I get 19/24. Let's try another non-algebra one. Okay, let's try 1/2 minus 1/6. Find the least common denominator. In this case it's not 12, but the least common multiple is 6. If I listed out those multiples, that would be the smallest one that they have in common. So I rewrite each fraction so it has that. Well, this one already does have it, so I don't need to rewrite 1/6. It's already there. This does. I have to change that to a fraction out of 6 by multiplying it by 3 over 3 to get 3/6. 1/2 is the same as 3/6. Combine the numerator. In this case, it's take away. 3 minus 1 over 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2/6. And in this case, 2/6 can simplify, because it has a common factor of 2, to 1/3. Okay, now let's do some algebra. Suppose we have this one. Okay, suppose I don't know what my numerators are, but I can still get a common denominator. The least common multiple of 3 and 5 would be 15. Next step, rewrite each fraction so it has a multiple, so the denominator is 15. That means I'd have to multiply this guy by 3 over 3, and this guy by 5 over 5. And when I rewrite that, 5 times a is 5a, 5 times 3 is 15, plus b times 3, we write that as 3b, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, now I've got a common denominator. I've got a common denominator of 15, and 5a plus 3b on top. And I cannot combine those terms because a and b are different terms. They're unlike terms. I can't combine those anymore. All right, so let's try some more here. These examples, I'll go through here. Let's do it. The least common multiple of 4 and 8 is going to be 8. Quiet. Just copy down, and if there's any questions, hand raised. Next step, rewrite this fraction with a denominator of 8, because this one's already done. I don't need to change that second fraction at all. Just the first one by multiplying it by 2 over 2. So I get 2m over 8. Okay, next step, put it all over 8 because it's a common denominator, and I'm saying 2m plus m plus 2. I'm just combining these two expressions in the numerator, and I can put it all on the top of the fraction. And I collect like terms to get 3m plus 2 can't combine anything there, all over 8. Now, I don't get a value for that, but that's as far as I can go. Next one, 3 and 4. Least common multiple of this one's going to be 12. So I'm going to rewrite both of these with an expression with a denominator of 12. This guy's going to get multiplied by 3 over 3, and this one's going to get multiplied by 4 over 4. Now before I do that, okay, 4 times 3 is 12, but what I'm going to do here is just everything here has to get multiplied by 4. So I'm just, when I have to do everything, that means I've got to put that in brackets. Okay, minus, and everything over here has to get multiplied by 3. So I have to put that part in brackets, all over 12. And that bracket part is an important step. I didn't have to do that here because I just multiplied 2 times m. I don't need brackets here. Now, I have a common denominator, so I can put it all over 12. And I have 4 brackets 3x plus 1 minus 3 brackets x plus 2. So here's where our algebra skills come into place when I expand and then collect like terms. So expand the first one, I get 12x plus 4. Expand the second one, and when I expand that second one, that is a minus 3. That sign goes with that number, so I get negative 3x minus 6 all over 12. And finally, I collect the x terms. 12x minus 3x is 9x. And I collect the constant terms. Positive 4, negative 6 give me negative 2 all over 12. I can't simplify it any more because I have no more common factors. Okay, so let's try some practice problems. Here they are. Okay, so here are the answers. And the only tricky thing was when you minus that n plus 1, you have to put that n plus 1 in brackets and expand it before you collect the like terms.